27th, 2022. And this is our Stevens Plantation Improvement Project DSD Governing Board meeting. With that, we'll call this meeting to order. And could we please have a call of the roll, please?
Chairman Blackwell.
Here.
Vice Chairman Matheny. Member Urban.
Here.
Member Askew. Member Trace.
Here.
Here.
Sorry.
Somebody threw me off.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Are you sure you're here?
I look up and Kelly's walking in.
All right, brings us to our first resolution. Madam Clerk, could you please read that into the record?
Resolution number 2022-03R, a resolution of the Board of Stevens Plantation Improvement Project Independent Special District approving the dedication of certain real property to the City of St. Cloud for use as road right-of-way for Progress Lane, authorizing the chairman to execute a right-of-way dedication deed and providing for an effective date.
Mr. Manzares.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Resolution 2022-03R, and I apologize for the typo in the first line of the slide. Essentially, what we discovered was that a portion of Progress Lane, which was designed and constructed as part of the road improvements related to the Stevens Plantation development, and which was supposed to be dedicated to the public, it obviously is a public right-of-way, had not been specifically dedicated to the city. That was discovered during some of the more recent real estate transactions. It is an open road. It's open and available for use by the public. The city is responsible for maintaining it. And as I indicated, a small portion of it was not dedicated. So Resolution 2022-03R approves, asks the council to approve the dedication of Progress Lane to the city and for the chairman to sign off on a right-of-way dedication deed, which was in your packets. If you could just jump that. And you can see on that slide, this is in the corporate campus piece, and it's that piece that's in the red box there with the yellow highlighting. That's the area that we're talking about. So it is part of Progress Lane, and that's what we're asking tonight, to approve this resolution and then approve the dedication of right-of-way to the city.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this item? I don't see any, so we'll ask the pleasure of the board. Would you like to speak or approve this item? Member Trace.
Motion to approve Resolution 2022-03R.
Second.
We have a motion from Member Trace, a second from Member Askew for the approval of Resolution 2022-03R. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Member Askew.
Aye.
Member Trace.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Matheny. Member Urban.
Aye.
Chairman Blackwell.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
Madam Clerk, please read item number 3.
Resolution number 2022-04R, a resolution of the Board of Stevens Plantation Improvement Project Dependent Special District pursuant to Section 189.062 Florida statutes, declaring the special district inactive, consisting to the dissolution of the special district by action of the St. Cloud City Council, and directing that a copy of the resolution be provided to the Department of Economic Opportunity of the state of Florida and providing an effective date.
Mr. Manzares.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, as you're aware, at the end of last month, we sold all the property at Stevens. The last two tracks 4 and 5 at Stevens Corporate Campus, were sold to Madison Grove. That was the final transfer of any property owned by the Stevens Plantation DSD to a third party. As you're probably all aware, back in 2003, this board was created. As part of the creation of this board, it was related to the creation of the Dependent Special District, which acquired for development purposes and to facilitate the development and future sale of the property there, of all the real property at Stevens. That was the sole purpose of the DSD. So with the transfer of this most recent properties, there's no purpose for the DSD anymore. There's no real estate that it owns or has to manage or to work with in accordance with its original intent. Therefore, the DSD is now has no purpose. It's inactive. The two-step process to dissolve the DSD is for this board to make a determination that it is inactive, which is what we are asking you to do tonight. The next step would be the city council, which, again, by ordinance 2003-47 created the DSD. The city council will have to adopt a new ordinance that essentially dissolves it, and that will be done at a later date as we go through that process. So the resolution tonight, 22-04R, is for this board to declare that the DSD is inactive, again, by virtue of the fact that all the property has been sold, and to consent to the dissolution of the DSD by future action of the city council, and that's what we're asking tonight. We have also been in contact, this question did come up at the city council meeting. I think maybe Mr. Trace asked it about the audit finding that the city has had to deal with. The city's auditors have come back to the finance director and have essentially provided us sort of a step process about what they need to remove the audit findings, and we're working with the bondholders to be able to get that. The attorney for the bondholders has told us it's going to take a little while. They don't move very fast, is what so it's going to take a little while to get them to do that. We have received confirmation from them that the DSD, that the Stevens DSD or the city will not be responsible for any of the unpaid DSD bonds. As you know, there are DSD bonds, and then there are Community Development District A and B bonds on the properties. Those are not the responsibility of this board. The only bonds that were related to this board were the DSD bonds that were used to acquire the Stevens Plantation property. We have received, I have an email confirmation from their attorney saying that they're not expecting any money towards those bonds. We just need to satisfy that audit finding, we'll just need to get something more formal from the bondholders, and the auditors have indicated that they will remove that audit finding from future audits for the city. So, if you have any questions, happy to answer them. Otherwise, we're asking for approval of Resolution 2022-04R.
Would anyone in the audience like to speak to this item? If not, we'll have a question and/or motion by council.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion for Councilmember Askew. We have a second from Board Member Trace.
Yep.
Madam Clerk, we call the roll.
Member Trace,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Matheny, Member Urban,
Aye.
Member Askew,
Aye.
Chairman Blackwell.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
Yay.
Yay.
Finally.
Let's celebrate.
That's it.
Would you guys like the meeting, just continue meeting for old time's sake or something?
You know.
No, let's don't do that. With that, we'll consider this DSD dissolved
Well, it's adjourned.
eventually, and adjourned, and to be dissolved.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We're done.
Yep.